Our next speaker knows a lot about accountability. He draws directly from his experience as a professional executive recruiter and from running his own training and development company for the past 30 years. In addition to his extensive business background, Mike served the U.S. Army for 4 years, including a 1-year tour of duty in Vietnam. Mike earned his BS in business and an MA in psychology, setting the stage for his deep understanding of business behavior. You don't have to be great to start, but you do have to start to be great. Please welcome Mike Scott.
Thank you. Thank you, Eric. So how many of you, by a show of hands, want to have fun today? Raise your hand. All right. Tell somebody at your table, I'm going to have fun. Tell them that right now. I always find if I'm having fun, I learn a whole lot more. So just open up your mind today. I want you to take one idea out of what I say today. How many ideas? One. That's it. And don't try to remember anything. Albert Einstein said, the less that I have to remember, the more I'm going to be able to remember. So don't try to remember anything, but I'll give you a way to be able to recall it. All right. The other thing is whatever I'm going to say today, you're going to go, oh, I already know that. I already do that. When your mind does that, just remember it's trying to take you out. Listen, did anybody have teenagers around? How much do they think they know? Everything. Same way when we were teenagers. We just didn't have that word, whatever. When a teenager says whatever, I'm not listening anymore. So be careful. When your mind does that, oh, I already know that, I already do that, just say thank you for sharing to your mind. All right. All right, so let's get set up for a really productive session. What I'd like to do is I'd like to have everybody look at your conference manual. I'd like you to go back to the 4th tab down at the beginning where it says 100% accountability 100% of the time. Let me just show you what's in there. It says there's a little information on myself. And then the next sheet that you'll see in there is the agenda for today, which I'll take you through in just a moment. If you'll look on the back of that sheet, you'll see that there's an action item template, so you don't have to remember anything from today at all. All you have to do is just put your action steps here, and I'll show you how that all works in just a moment. The other thing I'd like you to look at is the sheet right after that. It says quotes and recommended reading. Any quote I give you today is sitting right here. You don't have to write it down. Any recommended reading, it's down as well. All right, so let's see if we can start this whole thing off. There's one more thing I've got, 2 more things. I've got a little card. Everybody should have this little card. It looks like a little laminated card. It says how to create a totally accountable culture. Now that will be in the center of your table. Everybody should have one of those. If you don't, I've got some extra ones as well. So does everybody have one? If you don't, just raise your hand. All right, it should be enough on the table for everybody should have one. If you don't have one, look at the table next to you. Maybe they've got one. All right, so hold on to that. We're going to use that in just a moment. And then the other thing I did is I like to know where people went with what I did. So there's a form on your table. It's called the Workshop Feedback Form. It's sitting in the center of the table. If everybody would take one of those. 3 questions I'm going to ask you. One is, what's your first action step? See, here's my belief. If you take an action from this program, and it's successful, which it will be, then you're inspired or energized to take another action. See, completion creates energy. So when we're procrastinating on something, we're depleting energy. We get something done, be accountable, keep your word, now you're energized. So what's your first action? What did you like best about today? And then what's one action you'd like to bring back to somebody else? And then there's a place, I send an email out once a month, and what it is just designed to bring reminders from the program, so you get that. And then if there's somebody you think I should talk to like this, for a program like this, let me know down there. It's on there. So I'd like you to put today's date at the top of that form, which would be the 18th of March. I'd like to put your name and then put, the company name on there. And just put that off to the side. We'll talk about that in just a moment. So today's date, your name, company name, just put it off to the side. All right. First thing I'd like you to do is I'd like you to look at this quotes page. And I'd like you to look at the very first quote. Look at the very first quote. Don't cheat your people out of the opportunity to win because of your discomfort holding people accountable. This is the whole basis of what we're talking about today. Our discomfort calling somebody on their non-accountability. Now let me tell you something. Here's what's interesting. People say, well, I don't want to call them on their non-accountability because then they won't like me. Watch how just the opposite happens and how it gets set up. If I owe you something, let's say I owed you something as of last Monday, and I didn't get it to you, and I didn't say anything and you didn't say anything, what happens? Every time I see you, I go, whoa, okay. Every time you see me, you don't want to talk. See, here's the expression. Whatever you're not communicating in any relationship will control that relationship. So you're not calling me on my non-accountability is affecting that relationship. My not saying anything about it is affecting the relationship. And here's what's interesting. When you don't call me on my non-accountability, I start losing something for you. When you let me get away with not being accountable, what is it I start losing for you? Respect. And think about this. When you don't respect somebody, think about somebody in your life you don't respect. You don't like them either. Oh, you'll be nice. They'll never know it. But once you lost respect for somebody,